Welcome to the Epically Geeky Show. I'm your host for the evening, Eugene Stevens. Tonight, I've got a full cast, and I've got people here with me. It's awesome. So let's go ahead and jump into our opening question. Tonight's opening question is, what is something that you do that other people look at as being childlike or kiddie? Would anyone like to go first?
Sean.
Thanks, Chris.
All right, Sean, what is something you do that other people look at and go, kind of a big kid there, aren't you?
Yeah, it's pretty much everything I do in my house, but I'm kind of the low person on the totem pole here. Lego seems to be a big one because I still build a lot of Lego. But like, I just had my birthday and I got like a couple sets for my birthday. So
Nice.
What the hell? Like,
they're enabling.
Yeah, exactly. They're a bunch of enablers. Video games actually seems to be a big one too. If I start talking video games anywhere outside the house, I get that look. I'm like, come on, dude.
Really?
Video games?
I thought that was becoming more mainstream.
I was going to say that. Well, I guess it depends on where it is, but yeah, a lot of people, that's like
it depends on what you look like.
Okay, yeah, maybe.
Jen, you're a young female. You probably don't get it. Like, when I talk video games, though, it's like, dude, you're like 80. You're playing video games. So, and then I fail them, and then we move on. But but yeah, video games tends to be the one where I get the most looks.
Gotcha.
Lego tends to be from my family thing. Yeah, those are the ones that, like, really, you're still doing that?
Gotcha. Jen, would you like to go next?
Yeah, I guess the first thing I thought of was cosplaying, right? Because people a lot of times associate dressing up in costume with being a kid.
That's my answer too.
Yeah. I know there's other shit, but I mean, y'all tell me, what do I do? It's childish. I don't play so many video games anymore. Sometimes like the old school stuff, but
see, video games. That's why I was kind of questioning it, because like video games, to me, at least, I don't think I get any real looks. Of course, most of the guys I'm talking to are playing as well, so maybe that's part of it. But no, the cosplay thing is So you do what now? I dress up as a Ghostbuster and I go to conventions and parades and stuff, and then I kind of get so you're one of those people, and then I like to do the nice tomahawk slam on them and we raise money for different charities. We've raised money for this, and we took toys to sick children at the hospital.
Yeah.
So go ahead and keep looking down on me, motherfucker.
I thought you were going to say that, like, yeah, we go to the hospital all the time for those kids, and just, you should videotape the reactions.
That would be great, actually. Because I have seen that. I have seen them go, oh, I'm an asshole now. So
yes, you
well,
are.
and I never did anything like that for money, but for a while there I was dressing up as the Disney princess for the USO for
I remember you were doing
families.
That. Yeah.
So I was kind of like, okay, see, yeah, I'm like using my nerdiness for good, but
yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what else. I guess y'all, there's other stuff I do, I'm sure, but that's probably the big one. And yeah, people kind of do think, you're an adult and you do it, but I don't give a shit.
That's right. To hell with them. Chris?
Lego, but this is just a new thing that I've discovered I actually like. Like, this is a pandemic discovery that I actually really love Lego. Reading.
Really?
And what I like to read. So
I can understand. I got that.
Fantasy genre, but I would get my fun of for being a bookworm when I was but reading. Also, this is within the house. I get made fun of pretty hard for watching Harry Potter.
Not from me.
No, from the kids. And Twilight.
Again.
Yeah, sorry.
I don't watch Twilight because I think it's good. I watch Twilight for the nostalgia.
And see, like, when I think Twilight, I don't even. I have to tell y'all this. I don't even necessarily want to go down this road, but I had a meeting this weekend, and we were talking, or this week, about an event that was done, and it was Twilight focused, and it didn't go so well. And part of the problem I think they figured out was the person who was throwing it was really interested in it and loves it, and about this age range, and didn't realize that the kids and stuff are just like, Twilight, really?
Kind of a niche thing now, right?
Yeah, it really has become, and it's really become Oh, so you're a mom, right?
You'd have been a Twilight.
Chris,
Yeah, there you go.
your birthdays were the best.
We'll see, right?
Twilight, and then movie theaters, and then the bar.
Yes.
That was awesome.
Fun. So, but
we did dinner, then to the movie, and then
to the bar.
Yeah.
I'll say that's awesome.
So it was fun, and I did that like 3 years in a row. But that's the kids will make fun of me for any like the Wizarding World movies, except for the last Fantastic Beasts, which was crap, and the Twilight. But sometimes I just put Twilight on to bug them. Like sometimes I just do it to.
Especially like how in the spring or like during the summer, it'd be like, oh, Twilight time.
I want to meet my sisters who are obsessed with Twilight also and all things Robert Pattinson, but she wants to open a Twilight themed bed and breakfast in Forks, Washington, where we went on a road trip once and it was all lost on me, but she was freaking out and I was like, okay, this is cool. I don't know. I've never seen it.
I bet it would make money.
It would be, yes, because the Twilight is still hanging on, even though when you watch the movies and you realize Taylor Lautner was 16 when he filmed that, it's
creepy.
Weird. It's still creepy that you
feel a little bad.
I feel weird.
There was very little Twilight themed stuff in that town. They had a museum, which was pathetic, and I was just like, they're missing a huge capitalist opportunity here. So you guys could totally, make something happen.
Yeah, because like I understand Martha's Vineyard like completely leans into this is where we did Jaws. Here's where this was shot. Here's where this was, and it's just like yes, you should be doing that.
Yeah.
Like
but that's the things that I get made fun of that I still do at 41.
What about you, Ray?
Mine's probably the deep dive in comic books that I enjoy doing. So I really like watching comics explained and because as a kid I didn't get to enjoy comics as much because living in a small town we didn't get the comic book series as much, and so you'd have to go to the city to actually follow a series. So I love doing the deep dives. Like there's Comics Explained has some videos that are like over 3 hours long, and I could just listen to him talking about comic books and the whole story and break it down and what happened. And
but for him to bring it up in a conversation, we have to be around specific people. Otherwise, people just kind of look at him like,
okay, what you're wasting your time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely that one that I really enjoy comic books as much as I do, and I love the lore around them, and it's childish.
And yet now mainstream media, it's fine to enjoy the comic book movies.
Yeah.
But the actual comic books, you're still it's for kids.
Would y'all consider liking Disney movies as an adult, like one of these things? Because that's one of the things I delve into. Like I love watching Disney movies and Pixar and stuff.
And see, I do too. I didn't even think about that.
So sometimes it's like, oh, you watch that
shit
on your
yes, that is a thing that's looked down on as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
All the time.
Yep.
See, I finally got to the point I didn't care. Like I was like, no, it's a fucking Pixar movie. I'm gonna go watch it. I don't care if it's by myself or whatever. So.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Doesn't normally come up in natural conversation for me. Does it for you guys?
Depends who you're around. Like if you're around Lainey, you're talking about it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I'm around Lainey so often.
I'm not either, but it's usually because she's like in it. But she's also and she still likes it, right?
There's
a
nerd work that I know, and she was right into Disney, and now that she's finally got a kid, she still is right in Disney. But before she had a kid, she was that was her whole thing. So
well, see, like I was just telling my partner at work, I'm like and we went to Disneyland, or Disney World a few years ago, and I didn't. It's not like I was going to make fun of anyone, but I did not get the whole adult trip to Disney World until I went. And then I was just like, no, like the idea of hanging out at Epcot all day with like Christy and like you can drink and we can go all these different places and eat this really fantastic food. I'm like, that sounds like a fucking fantastic time.
And then you go over to the Star Wars part afterwards.
Hell yeah. Like, yeah.
Yeah, Sean, it usually comes up for me when I randomly start singing Disney songs because something triggers that in my head and I'm like, this applies. And then people look at me like, oh, you
nice.
What are you singing? Why?
I usually start singing goofy songs without realizing like, oh, the world don't need a living day. Well, I'm working. I don't realize it.
Okay.
But no one ever questions it, which actually is kind of sad.
Well,
yeah, there's a crazy guy in the corner working. Leave him alone.
Yeah. Just who you are, Sean.
Yeah, I guess maybe that's it.
Playing video games, singing goofy songs.
Nice. Well, the reason why this came up is, doing the whole. I as an adult, I was like, no, I'm not going to watch TikTok. I'm going to do the adult thing and watch the exact same thing that's put on Reels, on Instagram. But I'm doing TikTok now as well, just to watch this stuff. I'm not actually posting. Anyway, this reel came up, and it's a very short clip of a we're going to say story that was done on a news program. I'm putting quotations around this. I have a whole problem with calling the entire Today Show a news program. About the first 15, 20 minutes of it where they're actually talking news, that's a news program. The rest of it is absolute fluff. But anyway, they came on and they were talking about this new thing that's happening. And it's how more and more adults are buying more and more toys, and how the toy industry is like a good percentage of it is actually aimed at, and like their primary focus is on adults, and how these adult people are doing these kiddie things like buying action figures and playing with Lego and doing all this other stuff, and they they've always got to come up with a term for it, and a term they came up with was a kidult or kid adult. And pretty much a lot of people, especially in the toy collecting industry, are groups. I listen to a podcast or two where these people do this, and I just find it fun. I mean, I do like toys still as an adult, and I don't collect anywhere near like a lot of these people do. But I'm just like, they just like blew. No, I have nothing. Jennifer's sitting here next to me looking around.
You've got 7 lightsabers on the wall.
Oh my god!
You see the shelves.
I am a lightweight.
Thank you, Jennifer, because
the podcast that I listen to, literally every week they do a weekly podcast, and a good section of the podcast is what were your weekly pickups. I'm like, the last time I bought a toy was like, months ago. Like every so often I might get something that's cool, but like I'm just like, no, you people. There are people who have, they're adults. Here's the other thing: they tend to not have children, and they have entire rooms, not rooms, that is just dedicated to their toy collection. You know what? I think it's cool. I'd like to go visit it and check it out because I'm not going to look down on these people. But anyway, those were the first people that kind of blew up over this, and then it kind of spread out to the rest of the geek community because even if you're not necessarily collecting toys, you may be collecting something else, or you may be interested in something that's kid-centric, related, something or another. And the first thing that all people were doing or were saying were like, well, first off, this isn't new. Like, why is this a story? Like, people have been doing this forever. So that was the first thing I wanted to. I have some bulletin points I kind of want to hit in this conversation, but we'll just kind of wander through. But the first thing I wanted to bring up was, and actually the reel that we watched was the first thing that the woman brought up was, whoa, back up. There are boomers that have entire rooms in their house or garage. There's nothing but train sets. That's how my grandfather was. Like, he had a 2-car garage, and he always parked his car outside because half of the garage was a train set. And it's one of my happiest memories as a kid was going out there and playing trains with my grandfather. Not to get too indulged in, whatever here, but I took my boys to a model train show back in the fall, and I walked around a corner, and something about the smell of the Transformers and everything else going on hit me, and I was like 5 years old again. I just kind of started tearing up, and Nick was like, "Dad, are you okay?" I'm like, "I'm fine. I just literally was 5 years old again." So that's one of my happiest memories. My grandfather was like a businessman. He owned businesses. He was very well respected. Apparently, I didn't know this until just like a month or so ago. Apparently, he used to write speeches for local politicians because he was apparently good at it. So, like, if you would look at him, you're like, no, Big Marv is an adult. Like, he has his shit together. He has a family. He does what he's supposed to do, whatever. But then you go to the house and it's like, well, what do you do on the weekends? Oh, we play we play card games with our friends all the time, and then I go out and mess with the model trains. And people have been doing that forever. And we were talking a little bit on the Creatively Geeky, like Chris and I were talking about. People have had doll collections forever.
Oh,
and
the creepy porcelain dolls.
yeah, that's what it was. That was the first thing that came to mind.
My great aunt or something, you'd walk in and it was terrifying.
Yeah.
Staring at you.
Yeah.
All the way.
Yeah. I know this that like I know the thing you were talking about. There was so I can't remember if it was that specific broadcast or if there was another one that like it was a follow up, but it said I'm pretty sure it was 34. The age of 34 to 41 or 45 accounts for 25% of the sales for toys, and it equals about $9 billion.
Yeah, it's huge.
But again, it's not like I don't see it being a big deal.
No.
Stan, why is this a big deal? Well,
also, they like specifically target our demographic, I feel like, because look at the resurgence in all of the shows and movies and stuff and the remakes from when we came up, like 80s and 90s. Everything has either a remake or a sequel or the second generation, and it's like how many Ninja Turtle movies do we have, and all the extra Star Wars stuff. Like this is all stuff we came up on and they're adding to it. So of course there's going to be like they know what they're doing. They have a cash cow, and they're just like targeting. Oh, they're gonna want to buy their childhood stuff.
One of them fell off of the thing, but here's my Gozer Diamond Select character. I've got to get her back up there with the rest of them. But like, you look at this, no one's buying this for their kid.
No.
This is for a 30 and 40-year-old that goes, I fucking love Ghostbusters, and I need all the action figures that they released or whatever. So like,
and I have a piece, so I'm gonna fucking buy it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have my parents telling me I can't.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna get to that.
That'd be nice. I still have my parents telling me I'm an idiot.
Hey, but Sean, come on.
Shut up. Are you gonna say I am an idiot? Because I know where you work, dude.
I know.
Some other things that I wanted to bring up that people have been doing that you might consider being kid-like or kiddish. Trading cards. I know plenty of adults that at one point or another, as an adult, were into trading cards. Now, I guess it may also depend on what it was. Like and we're going to talk about this in a second. If they were sports cards, like if you met an adult and you're like, oh yeah, I've got a signed Babe Ruth or whatever. Like the thing's not like you don't look at that person going, oh, you're kind of like a little kid. You're like, shit, that thing's probably worth a lot of money, and you like. You know what I'm saying? There are certain things that I consider childlike or kid-like that also have become socially acceptable. So, like we were saying, like model trains, that's kind of fallen into that category because it's been around long enough. Certain doll collecting, like you said, if it's the porcelain ones, it's just kind of creepy, period. But like trading cards have kind of fallen in that way. I consider all sports that way. You are literally watching grown men or women run around and play with a ball, a puck, something or another, and you buy jerseys and
So,
all of your stuff that has your logo on it and everything else, and everyone looks at that and it's like, oh, that's just fine. They're
merchandising.
They're just a Cowboys fan. They're just a Chiefs fan or something, and you don't look at that going, oh, you're a little kid. You're all you're watching people play with a ball.
Yeah, my dad has a collection of different prints of artwork, and it's and they're all signed by the baseball. Yeah, so some of them are hockey, but the majority are the Jays. Right around the time that they won the World Series,
92, 93.
Yeah, so he has a collection of them, like Jimmy Keys on there, and anyway, so he's got them signed. They're beautiful prints.
They're framed. They're hanging up in their house.
They had them in the living room for I don't know how long. They're in. Some of them are in storage now, but he still has them, and that's one of those things where it's sports oriented, and that's what he just loved. And
yet you get the weirdest looks when you ask them, "What does it transform into?" It's crazy. It's.
But so sports cards are okay. Trading cards are okay, but if you ask trade Pokemon cards or
exactly no, yeah,
like,
well, absolutely.
Magic the Gathering.
Oh yeah, Quinn, a friend of ours, he doesn't play with them anymore, but he's been collecting them since the 8th grade, and he gave them all to Quinn. So Quinn's got like 7 or 8 boxes full of Magic the Gathering cards that go back to the early 90s.
Are they in good condition?
Yeah, they're really good condition.
Yeah.
Might want to check those sometime.
The deal was though, if they're the ones that are worth money, we don't sell.
Yeah,
These are just for fun.
I've got to go through and deep dive on them and make sure we're not sitting on something that he could utilize.
For school.
Well, the thing about it's not just the rarity. Some of it's from some people I've talked to that were into it at a time. It's like, no, it's because the card was too powerful or too, did something really weird to kind of break the gameplay. So they outlawed it and you can't use it anymore during actual gameplay. So it's just like, well, then it's just a collector's item at this point. And most people are like, well, I can't use it anymore, tossed it, and all of a sudden now it's become a rare item. So
he hoarded these, and I think he played up until very recently, and he just doesn't play anymore.
Yeah.
So I was clearing stuff out, and Quinn got into it briefly, and yes, we have like 30 years worth of Magic the Gathering cards sitting upstairs.
But there's guys at work that I know, and they still play, they still have a good time with it, and they still enjoy it, and they get every one that they can find. Like they'll scour Facebook Marketplace looking for somebody selling a box of them, and they'll just buy it and hope that they get something. Like it's
nice.
I would say, like, going back to our original question earlier, like playing board games might be considered kind of kid-like to a lot of adults.
I could see that, but it's
becoming more mainstream. But
it's becoming more mainstream. But also, it was all, especially card games. Card games, though, have forever been considered.
Card games, because you have like bridge clubs, euchre clubs.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, but like I guess the more intricate, like,
Catan, stuff like that.
The world building games, or the games where you have all these extra rules and you have to work together and you have to, that kind of stuff. People look at you sometimes and they're like, "What the fuck are you?" But
no, I definitely agree with that. But going back to what Sean said about video games, see, maybe it's just me, but I do consider it to be more socially acceptable, pretty much across the board. It could also be that most of the guys that I talk to, where it comes up, they also play. Doesn't matter their age, if they're in their 30s, 40s, or 50s. But literally, like, Christy and I started couples therapy last year, year before, and one of the questions, it was last year, and one of the questions that the counselor asked us was, is this related to y'all not spending enough time together? And, she's like, I'm not trying to be sexist. I'm just going with what I normally run into. Is it because you, looking at me, play video games? And it's like, well, obviously this is a huge thing that, is now affecting, some people's marriages. But it's like, well, yeah, it's like, it's not a question of, oh, well, he's kind of immature. It's just like, no, this is just how people spend their time and, and enjoy, doing different things as a hobby or whatever. And now it's just like, okay, cool. It's video games. I mean, I'm sure there's still some of that stigma of, oh, well, you play video games. You obviously live in your parents' basement and, you're super overweight and have acne and don't, are socially, inadequate or weird or whatever. And now it's just like, no, like, dude bros play video games constantly. So like it's
Henry Cavill.
Yes, he does.
I had to lower the volume there.
You okay? Are you okay?
I need a moment.
Okay.
Oh, well, Henry.
Sorry. I Henry Cavill for those who didn't hear.
But yeah, video games, I personally think have moved into the area of being socially acceptable. But I could see how there'd be some people that would still look at it as being, you got to be young at least, or at least you're a kid at heart or something. And I'm like, I don't know. When you're running around killing things constantly, there's not.
Yeah. I think it's people who don't understand, but who never played them.
That could be too. Yeah.
That he doesn't enjoy.
Actually, I'm getting to the point where I'm like, when I talk about video games, it's like, oh, you play video games too?
Mm-hmm.
It's the other way. It's the younger group. They're like, oh, you play video games? And I'm like, fuck you, you little bastard.
Oh man, you play.
Yeah, I'm not
We
that
can relate.
old.
Throwing you stupid shit.
They did have electricity in my age, you little bitches.
What was it like playing the Atari?
It was cool. Fuck you, it was cool.
Well,
Commodore was awesome.
It was cool for a while, but
Anyway, hey,
After
I
a
was
while,
there
you're
at the
just
birth
like-
of Nintendo. Screw
Yeah.
you.
after a while, you're just like, this is too hard. I'm tired of doing this.
Oh, man.
So
That was E.T. because it was impossible.
Oh, well, yeah. All in a landfill. There was a reason for that.
I've got a copy of it sitting right over in the closet.
That's
So
all.
there you go.
Yeah.
That's your kid's college fund right there.
No, unfortunately, it's not worth anything. What's sad though is there was a video that I saw earlier this week, and I was telling my partner at work about it. It was like extremely hard to find video games, and I didn't get a Dreamcast until I was married. Like once it had already died off and everything, and I was just like, I never had one of these. Everyone said they're fun, so I got one. I ended up selling it because I really kind of needed the money. You know, newly married, you know how that's like. And there were a couple of games on there like Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I'm like, I had that. And it's like, oh yeah, now if you can find it, it's worth like $1,500. I'm just like, fuck. I paid $40 for it, maybe. So yeah, it's crazy. Something else that I had listed on there that I think has also kind of become socially acceptable or whatever is I think it also depends, but memorabilia collecting, specifically like movies or something like that, like a lot of people are just like, no, that's cool now. I think it also might, but it also may kind of depend on what it is. Like if it was like from, I don't know, if it was something more of like a kid show or something, I could see where maybe someone would be a little more questionable about it. But I mean, hell, if you rolled up and like, yeah, I have one of the original Muppets, there's no one that's going to be like, dude, that's not fucking awesome. Like, so, but yeah,
As
that was
opposed
some
to
of the other things I
like
thought
Gem and the Holograms. You big poster up there, you might get questioned.
Jim and the Hologram.
That's pulling way back there.
Oh yeah. Anyone else have any other things that they think is at least at one time was considered kiddie that's become socially acceptable?
I'll say I consider it to be childlike in the way that they do it, but it's always been socially acceptable because you have to be an adult to drive. But cars, mint cars, and like when they going through having a car collection, that's a childish thing to enjoy, and just because it's again, you need the adult money to do it.
Yeah.
But the way that they do it, and the way that they that's
my grandfather used to collect cars, and he was he would go all over North America to find parts, specific parts, and this is where his perfectionism kicked in and was like really rewarding. But he was like obsessed with it, and like the make, the year, the everything had to be original to this frame of the car. I had to take my shoes off to get into one of his cars.
Nice.
1932 Ford with a rumble seat. And I sat in the rumble seat at 9, driving down fucking Greenock Road, like in near where I live, at 9, not strapped in, nothing, anything could.
Oh no, yeah.
Could have blown me out of there. But he took my grandmother everywhere on these bloody car part finding trips, and stacks of magazines that were so high and leaned just a little bit that if somebody bumped them, he would die from the weight of them toppling.
Gotcha.
And you couldn't get rid of them because they were all to the year of the make of the car. And when he says, and he would take these to car shows and win awards.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Oh yeah, but it's like a very niche, very specific group of people who enjoyed doing that. And he had dozens of cars. And then he got into tractors.
Yeah.
Oh geez.
A farmer too, by the way. But
Yeah.
he got into tractors at one point in their big ass driving shed that he specifically built to house all these tractors.
Yep.
He had like a dozen in various different states of repair.
Yep.
And it was a specific type of tractor. It was a David Brown. Which is an English tractor make, and he was the only salesman in Canada at the time who would sell them during the 60s. And he had them all. And my grandmother,
Sounds very
they're
expensive.
out in the shed. They're out in the shed. Like, well, it's fine. But he'd spend hours and hours and hours out there just tinkering with crap.
See, I I would even lump in there along with collecting cars, just like those guys that are like gearheads that are like,
those Jeep.
so let me get this straight. There's not a single thing on this thing that's stock anymore. You have upgraded the engine and the exhaust and everything else, and you've loked it out. It looks totally badass, don't get me wrong, but you're literally playing with your car. Like you're just doing it with adult money and
Exactly, because we were not like it's the Jeep people, it's the Subaru people.
the Jeep people.
I don't get it.
Do y'all know about this with the Jeeps with the rubber ducks?
Yeah.
Oh.
Apparently, like Jeep people will find other Jeep people and leave a rubber duck on the car for some reason, and it's just a thing.
I didn't. There you
Jeep
go.
culture is the whole other. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's even around here, the Jeep culture.
Yeah.
I want to make fun of them, but
nerds, so like.
Yeah,
everybody's got their thing.
Yeah.
The other thing I was going to bring up is stamp collections. I know that stamp collecting was a thing.
I used to do that.
Oh, of course you did.
I have one that I haven't ever organized. I
really
literally just have bags of stamps I'll cut off of. Letter because I write a lot of letters. So I actually bought an album to put them in, and I never got them organized before I put. But yeah, I have a stamp collection.
So do I. I got mine from my grandfather because I used to work on the farm during my summers, and he was into stamp collecting, so I automatically assumed that I would be into it. What am I looking at? Oh yeah, there's some stamps.
We found that in the wall.
That looks like you
found
drew
it
it.
Where?
In the wall when we
in the wall.
Oh, freak.
Yeah.
It's from 1957.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's or something.
I guess. I don't know. I tried with stamp collecting so bad. Like I had like the binders full of like you get the binders that had like the blank spots for the stamps. You had to go and find them, kind of thing, and explain everything. And I did my best just to kind of like bond with my grandfather.
That's cool.
Yeah, it didn't work, but
I tried.
I
was gonna say coin collecting is another one that's kind of the same.
My wife is into coin collecting. She used to be anyway. Pennies, but Canada got rid of pennies.
We collected. Well, I did when I was a kid. When Canadians had pennies, sometimes they would get circulated in the U.S. and anytime I'd find one, I'd be like, "It's a Canadian penny!
Oh yeah,
cool. It's foreign money." So I have a bunch of those.
Yeah, Deb would get so excited, like she'd be able to talk about pennies and all that, and I'm like, "That's awesome! God, I'm bored. This is so bad."
Like U.S.
Oh,
pennies.
That's cool. Like no Canadian change and all that, and I'm like, "That's awesome! I could buy so many Transformers with that."
There you go.
Anyway, but I tried because I get it. It's like, that's you're passionate about a hobby, no matter how stupid it may be. But yeah, there you go.
The one I want to get into is the silver coins from the States. There are certain silver ones that people will actually carve and change and do things with.
Oh, that's interesting.
Oh, I've seen that.
I wanted to get into that. I think that would be fun.
Well, that's like turning our $5 bills into like Leonard Nimoy. I love that. That's so cool.
That's awesome.
Spock on our dollars, our $5 bills. That's awesome.
Yes.
Do you guys have the machines up there where you can put a coin in and it flattens it and then engraves it? I used to think those were so cool.
I've got so many of those Dairy Lake, but it's expensive up here because we don't have pennies anymore.
Yeah. For a while.
I got some for you.
Yeah, going back to the legality question. I mean, obviously, it is not legal to destroy any type of tender money, but no one gives a shit.
Yeah, I've heard.
It's not destroyed; it's still there. It's just in a different
I guess
form.
technically, yes. It's just really flat now and has a steamboat on it.
Actually, I think I have a pair of earrings made of Canadian.
Oh my
pennies.
God, that is fantastic! We're looking at someone who has turned a Canadian 5 into Leonard Nimoy.
That's our first prime minister.
Yeah.
Now, is that the current 5, or is that like old paper 5?
This is the new 5.
That's the new 5.
Okay. You've got the new ones.
So they're plastic.
But Disney is the worst for that. They have like those machines that are all over the place.
Oh yeah.
I was like, when we took our kids to Disney World last time, I'm like, holy shit, I've spent so much money turning pennies into different things.
Yes, that's the thing. It's like I remember when I was a kid, it was like a quarter. Now it's like $1, and it's like, you want me to spend $1 to turn a penny into something?
Yeah.
How does this?
That's just free money for them. Like it's
Yeah.
because you're doing the work to crank it.
Yes, exactly.
And yes, you replace the die at one point, but like that thing's gonna last a real long time. So
Well, it was like I wasn't even checked into our hotel, and they had those friggin' machines sitting there. I'm like, okay, and like a penny is a lot for a Canadian. Come on, now. Like I'm wasting a lot of money here doing this thing, and then I had 3 kids, so I had to do it at least 3 times.
Yep. It adds up.
The only other thing I was going to bring was my grandfather had a hat collection.
My dad had a baseball hat collection.
I know people with hat collections, yeah.
Yeah, hat collections is a big one.
All around. He lost it in the divorce. My mom donated it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, so
for a really long time after that, he was pissed.
Do y'all know anyone? Because I used to know a guy. I used to work with a guy. And I don't. I'm not gonna yuck anyone's yum. I don't get it. But shoe collections, and I'm not talking about women
Like
has
sneakers.
a lot of shoes.
Sneakers?
I'm talking about tennis shoes. I'm talking about these people who buy $200 and $300 pairs of shoes that turn around and sell them for like $1,600 and stuff.
Yeah.
I
don't
get
I
it.
personally don't get it, but like
I don't. What I could get behind is jacket collections. I love jackets. I don't know why.
He's got
like any particular type, like leather jacket, or
if it's a nice leather jacket, that'd be great. If it's like I had an Assassin's Creed jacket at one point. Had like there was
Did it have the big collar and everything? Like,
no, but the hood was so wide, and when you flipped it up, it looked like the Assassin's Creed.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's awesome. See, that's video gaming, though.
Yeah, true.
Well,
but
yeah, in
role-playing.
the sneaker thing is really big. A lot of people get into that, and it reminds me of, was it She-Hulk, where he's like, I need a favor. And he asked her to like stand in line with him for the new pair of Jordans or something. And I was like, that's still a thing that men do apparently.
It wasn't the last time I stood in line for a video game console. It would have been a little while back, but I do remember running into people that like we were both there early in the morning. It was like, are you here for, I don't even know what it was, a Wii or Switch or something. Were you here for that? I was like, no, I'm here for the new Jordans. I'm like, okay. We're both waiting outside the mall so we can go in to go do our thing.
That's something I've never done, waiting outside
I have
a store for something other than movie tickets. I've done it for
movie tickets. Yeah, back in the day. I don't know if it's still a thing or not. It was something I was kind of looking forward to with my boys, but I don't know if they so much do it anymore, especially because, a lot of times the games sell out, they pre-sell everything. So there's no use standing in line for anything. I was like, that might be a cool thing to do when they get older, when they're 14, 15 or something. Be like, hey, we're going to go spend most of the night outside of Walmart or Target or something so we can try to get the new whatever it is. And
so I went and got the new Super Nintendo, the mini one when it came out.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I went and I got that for a buddy of mine because I was off. I think it was coming up a night shift or something like that.
I can't remember.
So I went right to Walmart. And I was in line, and I was one of the first people to get. I think I was like the third person in line, and so I got one. And I walked back to the car and I put it back. And I looked, and like nobody else was around, so I went back into Walmart and I grabbed one for myself.
There you go.
I was getting it.
That's kind of cool and sad at the same time.
That was the last thing. It wasn't the Super Nintendo. It was the Nintendo, the original NES one that they brought out, the little mini NES.
Yeah. I
had to wait outside to try to get one. Like it was crazy. And I had a small group of teacher friends that were like, have you heard anything? I'm like, yep, I'll be at Target on Tuesday morning. They're like, okay, thanks for the heads up. So, I mean, I get that part and all that other stuff. And I think we've even done a show talking about line sitting and memories and stuff from that. Like, because, you remember, sitting there in movies and stuff. Anyway, kind of getting off topic. So the next thing that I had on there was I wanted to bring up some stuff that people do that were kind of brought up in the article or in that, in that thing. That we do that we know for a fact it's not socially acceptable. I'm going to go ahead and start off right now. Action figure collecting. I know among other action figure collectors, everyone's like, no, I understand. Oh, you collect that? Well, I don't know about that. Like, that's about as far as it goes. But the average person, like, so I've, of course, run out of room here, and I've actually managed to make a bunch of room at my office. I have the entire Plasma series Ghostbuster action figures on a shelf at my work. And I guarantee there's probably a 50% chance of someone walking in and going, "That's cool," or
Okay. Yeah.
And just walking out and being like, "Why does this dude have a bunch of action figures still in the box, still sitting there?" And it's like, because I like them. They're cool.
Pops are another one. Well, they've become really popular. They're actually like kind of accepted, right? Or what are they?
Yeah,
Pops
accepted.
Yeah,
they're a little overly commercialized for me.
Here's my problem with Pops is they don't really look like the thing, and I purposely refuse to get into them. And then for Christmas, my buddy Travis, who's one of the Ghostbusters, actually gave me one, so now I own a Pop, and I'm just like,
and that's where I got screwed too, because now I have all the TNG figures for Pops.
Putting my staff down, I will not buy any more Pops, I promise. So I can't do it because there's just too many. That's a rabbit hole I cannot fall down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've already fallen down. I got all the collection for my TNG, and then Willie went and got me Star-Lord with the Christmas hat on for my birthday.
Oh,
like,
so
oh my God,
some of the ones you got to
there's
get now.
There's gonna be another set, but
maybe they're so popular because it's not just geeky things, though. It's like
that's true.
Big
It's a lot,
like
yeah.
Golden Girls, singers, and like actors or whatever.
That's a good point. Yeah,
it's not just like
because you could.
The boxes are kind of nice, because that's the other thing. I take shit out of the boxes.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck you. I'm not going to resell it.
Oh, no, there's some stuff that I
baby.
definitely take out of the box. So, but no, that's a good point because, like, granted, Christy doesn't collect anything, but, like, if you knew someone, like, and Golden Girls is a perfect example. If you knew someone who's really into Golden Girls and you're like, hey, I got you all 4 of the Pops of the girls, they wouldn't think that it was weird. They'd be like, cool, thank you so much.
Do they have those? Oh, my God.
They have to. There has to be.
I'm pretty sure they do.
Oh,
I'm looking right now.
Oh, I got hooked on them by accident. Oh, my God.
We're all looking.
Freaking awesome.
Also, well, speaking of dolls and action figures, I used to collect the collectible Barbie dolls and did not take them out of the box.
$50.
The big.
There you go.
There you go, right there, all 4 of them.
Oh my God. Damn it.
That was a big thing. Like, oh, you don't take those out of the box. And
oh yeah, the
you don't play with them, and then you just have like boxes of Barbies, and they're big. Those.
Yeah. The worst though, Transformers. Oh my God. You have to take those out of the box and play with them.
Okay, well, the only reason I didn't take out some of them is because they were the remakes of ones I still have in my attic that
if you already have them,
I already have them. But like these other ones, these like more modern versions of some of the classic characters, I was just like, oh hell no, I have to play with that. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, you have to transform them. Like, oh my God, you can't leave them in a freaking box. You can keep the box, which pisses my wife off to no end. All the Lego I've got, I've still got the boxes. Oh my God,
man!
There's like the lawyers for the divorce group are going to be so happy with that.
See, I can understand getting rid of the box, but you absolutely have to keep the manual. Like that's.
No, I was gonna say I am so impressed with Lego.
No, you can look up on the website.
You just look it up and it's there.
Yeah, but it's just nice to have it. You know what? Now that you say that,
you gotta touch it, dude. Like everything, you gotta touch
next time I go to work, because the joke is always, I tell the boys, the traditional dad joke is, all right, well, tell you what, I'll start at the beginning, you start on the other hand, and you pick up the thing, you go, like you're gonna tear it in half. And it's just like, I do kind of wish that maybe I could, like, especially if it's something that like you have to build, the left side of the car and then the right side of the car, and it would be nice. I didn't even think about that. I should look it up on their iPad and be like, all right, cool, I'm starting on the left side. Here, this is the next page. Here's your iPad. You start on that side, and we can work on it together. Because otherwise, it's like he works on it for a while, and I'm watching, and then I have to work on certain parts, and he's watching. And it's a great idea, dude.
Yeah.
Which is actually the very next thing that I was going to bring up is Lego.
Oh, I love Lego.
Lego, I think, is on the cusp of becoming socially accepted because.
Yeah.
Number one,
right? Like there's a million different. It's not niche. Like it's not just Marvel or DC or anything. There's my sister who is a staunch religious woman will let her children play with the city Lego, but that's it. And she's got 3 boys, so they're allowed to play with Lego, but it has to be city Lego because it's very generic. There's no branding to it or anything like that. Yeah. And that's nice. And then when Logan was like 8, 9, and 10, we used to get her the Lego Friends. Mm-hmm. So she had that for a really long time. So I think Lego, much like the Funko Pops, you don't have to be into Marvel or DC or Harry Potter. You can just do it because you like, and then you can build cities and.
Yeah.
My God, I was in Walmart the other day and they had the old space Lego, like that I grew up on.
Yes.
With the old spacemen
Targeting
and
your
stuff like
demographic.
that. And oh my God, I had it in my cart and I had to go back and put it back on the shelf because I couldn't afford to be divorced at this time. But oh my God, seeing it there, it was like, oh my God, this is my childhood. I wanted it so bad.
Dude,
And then
if they start bringing back the pirate ones, in particular, like the what some of those ships, I may have to break down and do it because I had some of those and they were so good.
I like the generic space stuff.
I did too,
then
though.
When I saw it, it was like, holy shit, because I got one of those sets for Christmas when I was a kid, and it was like my childhood sitting on the shelf, and yeah, crazy.
But even some of the
marketing
sets,
people are brilliant.
Yeah, but some of the new sets, like who was it that got one of the helmets, the new one of the
That was me.
Was that you? Okay.
I've gotten, Patrick, my son who works at Walmart, got me like one for Christmas and one for my birthday because they're so close together. And then, I'm an OCD completionist, so automatically I'm like, and then my daughter sent me like the TikTok of all the Star Wars Legos they're canceling this year, and they had a whole bunch of those helmets on there. I'm like, fuck. Now I've got to get those too, and oh my God, before they can't. I've never collected them before, and then all of a sudden, now I have to collect them.
We're going to the mall tomorrow. You let me know which ones you need, and
you're
fucking
enabler.
More mainstream, like you said, because there's a lot of like public events, building, like build events, or where you can go see things that other master builders have done or whatever. Like I know when I did Geek Fest years ago, we tried to get some of those people to come, but there've been in Killeen, even at the Civic Center, a few times, like Lego build days, huge, and also they now you can build robots with the Legos, so like the robotics teams use Lego Mindstorms and stuff, so they're like really out there doing shit.
The new Technic ones, like the Technic ones when I was younger, were like very like it was like that's a car. It kind of looks like a car. Alex got one for Christmas that I helped him put together. That's specifically a newer style Mustang.
Porsche 960 or something.
Oh my God, they are so cool. Like they actually look like a Mustang, and I'm just like the whole time I'm just like, dude, this is so cool. Like Daddy is really enjoying doing this. So, but like there was a show and we only watched the first season. I probably need to go back and watch the other couple seasons.
Lego Masters.
Lego Masters.
Yes.
Like they built an entire show that had it wasn't just like C-rate people on there. Like they had actual like celebrities on there and stuff, to judge stuff, but also who are fans of it. Like what's his name?
Lego Batman.
Well, yeah, I mean he hosted it. What's his name?
That's Will Arnett.
No, not Will. I'm thinking of what's his name? Terry Crews. Terry Crews is a huge Lego nut, and you could just see the joy radiating off of him during that episode when he was on there. And I'm just like, someone proposed one time or other. They're like, I want a movie where it's Terry Crews and Vin Diesel, and they're cops and they hate each other until they realize that he's into Lego and he's into D&D, and they bond over their geekiness. And I'm just like, I will watch the hell out of that movie.
That'd be a good movie.
It'd be a fantastic
There's
movie.
a lot of books now about Lego. Like 10 years ago, I started listening to a book about it. Maybe we should listen to one for Marginally Geeky.
About what?
About Lego. Just like being an adult user of Lego, or just people, their nostalgia for it.
I would do that.
Why don't you use that as your pick, for Christ's sake?
I forgot.
Still listening to yours.
It was like 10 years ago. But yeah.
We'll have to add that to the list. Is there anything else that you think is maybe on the cusp of becoming socially acceptable? I think cosplay's got a little ways to go, but go on, Ray.
Yeah, cosplay does. Go ahead, Ray.
I was just going to say, I think we can thank Stephen Colbert for everybody really loving Lord of the Rings.
He's such a nerd about it.
Okay, well, let's include a lot of things. high fantasy,
Yeah.
science fiction used to be there were only certain people that would go in comic book stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Those things were like, oh, you watch comic book, you went and saw,
Totally.
whatever. But then there were some of them that were breakouts, like Batman '89. Fucking everyone went and saw Batman '89.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it's honestly, you don't know how many people have never seen Blade. Like, Blade was a fantastic movie, but there are a lot of people who have never seen Blade. Didn't even realize that there was a Blade movie. But as time went by, and Marvel's really the one about the sci-fi, about the comic book stuff. Now everyone freaking watch it. Like, comic book movie is not even, that's like a subcategory now of something. But yeah, science fiction, like the biggest movie right now is freaking Avatar 2. You're watching blue people run around on a planet and stuff, and like I said, that's the biggest movie right now. Fucking two of the biggest shows that are on are the Lord of the Rings show, and Game of Thrones, of course, has really thrown in there. But now it's just like, oh yeah, that's just a thing that normal people do.
Oh, I got one.
Yeah, what's up?
It's not. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Ray.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say a thing that used to not be cool and that not a lot of people did, and I did for a long time, was plants. Have house plants, and now it's like super popular, and like you're just like so modern and whatever. But like, I was a crazy plant lady before it was cool. I'm just saying. But now having plants, there's like whole
Yeah, because there are people who are promoting things, or they're like, here's my version of the vertical plant stand, and
I think
I'm like,
there's influencers who build their brand around
bonsai trees hit it big with Karate Kid.
Oh God, yes.
I am drunk, but I'm pretty sure, bonsai trees were huge when Karate Kid came out afterwards.
Yep.
Yeah.
I had one, but I killed it.
I would kill one too, because we've looked. There's some that were for sale, and I was looking at them. I'm like,
terrible at keeping.
I would love to take
Aren't they
care
tropical
of it, actually.
plants or?
I don't
Maybe
know.
that's why they died.
Weather plants.
My biggest problem, I think, now is overwatering. I think I overwater so because
Oh,
I'm like, well,
yeah.
you need a drink, don't you? You need a drink, don't you?
See, and that's why I switched to those little waterfall things.
So, I may have to do the whole high tech thing where you do the Arduino and you set it up so it actually monitors the soil and like sends you a text message. It needs water. So
yeah, there's a nerd right there.
Yeah, I'm not gonna denounce that. All right, so here's one of the other things that I wanted to talk about, and this is where we may get a little more serious, a little more heavy. And it could be, it could be not. It could just be some people kind of putting some stuff forward. The reason why people do this. So, like I said, the original clip that we showed, or that we looked at, was this little bit of clip from this video, and then it was a person responding to it. And I don't know if it was the one that I sent y'all. It may have been a different one. And one of the things that they were like, why are y'all hating on us? Like, I have a friend, and in the one video I'm remembering is like, I have a friend, he's in his 30s or something, and every week he goes to McDonald's because he never could go to McDonald's as a kid. Like, his parents either just wouldn't take him or they couldn't afford it or whatever. And he goes to McDonald's just because he's like, I'm an adult now. I can do what I want. But she used the word trauma, and I was just like, is trauma is that a little far? But I mean,
her argument was like, we're buying these toys because we were told we couldn't as kids. We were told they couldn't afford it or they just refused to, right? So
yeah.
That was,
I see, and I'm not trying to, and like I said, I'm not trying to, the new term gatekeep. I'm not trying to gatekeep anyone here and be like, listen, your trauma of that. I'm not going to say it's not trauma. Sorry, I've lost a parent in the last 2 years. That's trauma. So I'm not gonna stack up your not getting a Happy Meal as a kid with whatever. But I could see how if you didn't get something as a kid, or always wanted something or something like that, and being an adult and be like, no, fuck it, I can do this now. Like, this is the thing that I want or that I want to do or whatever. It's so funny. Who was I talking to? I was talking to my partner at work about this. The toy collecting show. Last year about this time, one of the guys on there said, this is the year of the playset. He said, I'm going to go collect certain playsets that I've always wanted. And like, he spent hundreds of dollars on the not the real Ghostbusters, the Filmation Ghostbusters Ghost Command. Apparently, it was very rare. He spent a crap ton of money on it, and he got it. I thought that was kind of cool. And then the one that he got, he didn't really know if he wanted it or not until he got a good deal on it, and he bought it. Do y'all know what the USS Flag is?
No.
Okay. So back in the day, back in the 80s, G.I. Joe released the USS Flag. It is an aircraft carrier that is fixed 6 feet long.
I know that one.
That is the USS Flag. I had one. It was like $100 back in the day, so it was super expensive, but I had one. After having one, I know it wasn't a very good toy because you just kind of bumped it and things would fall off of it. People looked at it and were like, could you take it in a pool or something? It was like, no. Like, literally, it's these trusses that you take this long piece of plastic and it wraps around the front, back, and on one side. The other side's completely open. There's no bottom on it. And, like, there's big sections that if you bump them, they come apart. But, like, we had it in this extra room that we had, and we never played it with it because we'd go and play with it for a little bit. We're like, oh, I'm kind of tired. You couldn't move it. It ate up so much room. And sure enough, near the end of this last year, they were doing like a recap episode, and he's like, for those of you who have seen my recent videos, you may notice the flag is gone, and he's just like, it just ate up too much room. And I was the whole time when he first, I kept thinking, I'm like, you know what? If you were really into it and you're enjoying it, good for you, dude. Mm-hmm. But every time someone wants to bring it up, I think Lewis always wants to post like, well, it's the 35th anniversary of not getting this thing for Christmas. And I'm like, dude, you've played with it. You know that was not a very good toy, so stop. But yeah, I can understand how if you didn't get something as a kid, you know, you'd really want to like, you know, try to collect it or you know, do something with it as an adult or whatever. But like I said, I don't know if I'd go quite so far as trauma, but
I think it depends on why you didn't have it as a kid.
No, that could be too.
If it's just because you know, your parents didn't think it was important or whatever, that's one thing. But sometimes your parents were your bullies and they bullied you out of it. They made you feel bad for liking that because they didn't see the value in it. So they didn't think you needed to like it either. And when that happens, that is a form of trauma. And trauma is such an individual thing, right? So for me, I know, like, I got bullied out of reading books because my parent would call me a bookworm, would make fun of me if she found me reading, anything like that. I got to the point where I'm like, okay, well, I guess I just won't read because then she'll stop picking on me, and things like that. So, and then now
that I can understand.
Now, as an adult, I am like kicked it into overdrive. I am on a mission to get 1,000 books so I can say I own a library, right? Like, so I think it depends on why you weren't allowed, because for a lot of the stuff I didn't get as a kid, we also couldn't afford it. So there's that, which I can totally understand. And now that I can, it's great. I would like it. But some of the deep-rooted stuff where I'm like really voracious about, it was probably because somebody in my life that loved me and was supposed to take care of me thought that because they didn't see it as valuable that I shouldn't either.
See, I'm afraid, I actively am afraid that Christy or I has done a little bit of bullying on the boys, but not in the same way. I guess it wouldn't be the same thing. It's like it's more so like multiple questioning. Like,
yeah,
are you sure you really want that? Because the last time you bought something like that, it's literally just sitting in your room and you haven't touched it in forever.
Making them think about it, right? Like,
yeah,
right.
There's a difference between kids wanting something because they've seen
it's a novelty,
or whatever.
Yeah,
true, yeah.
So there's a difference between that and if they truly have an honest, you know, interest in something, you know what that is.
Yeah,
right.
Or the difference.
So there is a difference between that.
So it's like I said, it's one of those things. I'm just like, am I prejudice hitting here, or am I just like, no, I just don't want you to spend your money on this because I know and you know deep down that you're not going to play with it. Like, you're going to play with it for a couple of days and then it's just going to sit there and collect dust and then be something else that the cats and dogs are going to get into or whatever. So,
and then they're teenagers and they start making their own money and then they buy all the stupid shit and then you get to watch them have buyer's remorse.
And they repeat the cycle we're having.
There you go. Another reason that I've seen people talk about, escaping the real world. I ain't gonna say shit to anyone about, okay, because and Chris, You said you just, Sean's already said he likes messing with Lego. You said you just recently picked it up since COVID started.
Yes.
There is something, like I said, when my boys got these 2 big sets, there is something about just turning off your brain and looking at these pictures and putting something together that is going to end up being a thing. It's going to be something at the end.
Yeah.
And it's just, I'm not trying to escape reality, but it's just like
it satisfies something in my brain.
Yes.
Which is something because it's so satisfying to see. This is also why I like to clean, is because it's an actual tangible thing I can see changing in front of me. And it's like, it was messy and now it's clean. I can see it. I can, whatever. It's like an evidence that I've been productive or whatever. But I have a superpower of suspending disbelief. Like it's awesome. And that's how I know something's good or not. Like if I'm in it and I can believe, that's why I never see twists coming ever. That's how I know it's good. If I never see the twist coming and I'm like, oh my God, and Ray's like, yeah, that was like 10 minutes ago. I'm like, no, you did not see that. Anyways, because I enjoy being immersed in it. That's entertainment to me. So it's like, yeah, I can fucking suspend disbelief. I don't want to, it's a mess in here. If I can shut it off for like a little bit, it's a win. It's a win. So screw you and your normal atypical mind.
It's not.
Do you guys like doing puzzles if you like Lego so much? Because to me, that's just like a 3D puzzle.
I enjoy puzzles. I've got a 2,000-piece puzzle that I'm working on right now, and I enjoy puzzles.
That's one of those things that I think might be coming back.
I know a lot of people who do puzzles. Yeah. I'm just never been a puzzle person. There's times that I've like, so for example, the library at my school has a puzzle that's out there, and kids will just randomly come up, they'll find a couple pieces and then go on, do other stuff. And I will from time to time walk by and just be like, oh, that clearly goes there. And then kind of go on. But no, I've never been a real puzzle person. My mom is. She loves doing puzzles. So the nice thing I will say about puzzles is they don't usually take up too much room when they're in the box, and then they go back in the box, and so that's fine. Whereas with Legos, though, that's my problem. Is number one, they're super expensive, and number two, once I put that son of a bitch together, I'm not going to want to take it back apart. And the term that they use on the toy show that I'll listen to, by the way, it's called Toy Anxiety. That's the name of the show, because that's what they're anxious about is what's coming out. Am I going to be able to get a hold of this? Blah, blah, blah. But anyway, they came up with several terms, and one of them is space danger. And I'm like, yeah, I've got space danger.
Oh, yeah, my old house.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I got that.
What were you going to say, Ray? Oh.
I was going to say, I have specifically looked up, because of how big this fucking puzzle is,
Logan got it for Christmas.
It's a big fucking puzzle. And by the time I put it all together, I'm going to be putting hours in on this thing. Oh, yeah. So when it's together, I am putting Mod Podge over the whole fucking thing, and it is not coming apart.
You gonna frame it?
I will frame it, and it'll go in my garage, or it'll go down the stairs. Yeah. Like it's going.
I got that.
Glued puzzles and hung them up before.
Yeah. I got that for my birthday. I've got almost a 4-foot by 3-foot Star Trek TNG puzzle for my birthday.
Wow.
I don't even have a spot to put it together.
Yeah.
Killing me. Oh my fucking God. So now I gotta get back into my man cave because I'm like, shit, I gotta build a man cave to put a fucking puzzle together. Oh my God. But I want to do it so bad, and I know I'm looking at time spans of years.
Yeah.
That's killing me. Because at my age, years is a long time. I might not make it.
Get a flat, big piece of, wood or something sturdy that you can just move around.
Yeah, and I thought about doing that. The problem is I also have 4 fucking cats.
Oh, yeah.
That too.
Yeah.
It's a bad day.
And I've got a kitten. He eats these things. Oh, a puzzle piece. I'm going to eat that. You little bastard.
Yep.
And yeah, after it takes me a year to put it together and realize I'm missing a few pieces, I'm not going to be happy. It'll probably be the cardiac event that does me in.
Yeah.
So,
how'd Sean die? His cat ate a puzzle piece. It's a long story.
Yeah.
It's the final piece for Picard's face.
Yeah, really. Oh my God.
It would be something big too.
No, more likely it'll be Q. laughing at me.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
It would be cute.
But yeah, I can see people doing some of this, like, you know, kind of. But people do anything or everything to quote unquote, escape the real world or whatever. You know, it's.
But it does. I think it's human to do that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
it's a bad thing at all.
You know, my partner and I just flat out say, when we walked out Friday, don't think about this place till Monday. Nope. Or in this case, Tuesday, because we're off Monday. But it's like, don't think about this place. Nope. Sure won't. Won't even cross my mind.
Yeah.
So, you had one of the things that I actually had put down was parents rediscovering a love for something. I have loved rediscovering some things with the boys. The only thing that I find is a problem is unless it's also re-entered into, current lexicon of what's going on. The next thing is that was cool, Dad. Are there any toys for that? And it's just like, yeah, but they're all like $100 a piece because they don't make them anymore or whatever. You know, it's one of those situations.
Yeah.
But like, I know for a fact when they were little, they were getting into Transformers Rescue Bots, and there's not a lot of articulation or whatever with them. But the fact that it's a transformer that literally, like, one movement turns them completely from a vehicle into a robot, so little kids can do it. So you can actually play like you always wanted to as a kid instead of going, with your car and like, all right, hold on, give me a minute. I'm still working. Hold on. You can literally go, I'm done. I'm in robot form. Let's go ahead and, fight or whatever. And I know there was a point there where I'm just like, well, they don't have blur. They need blur. Did they ever ask me for blur? No. But I'm fucking going to find blur for them. So, yeah, I was rediscovering that and really getting into it and having a lot of fun with them. So, and I'm sure y'all have rediscovered some things with the kids and just kind of been like, maybe fall and be like, oh man, that was something I really like to get back into or something.
Well, Lego for you is what you
found. I found out that I had no clue.
Yeah.
We never had Lego in the house. That wasn't even on my radar. Like that wasn't something that I had any interest in. And it wasn't until I sat down and put together a giant Hogwarts castle that I'm like, that I was like, maybe the kids, I tried to be interactive, and the entire time I was watching them put together, I'm like, no, move, I want to do this myself. And it's just like overwhelmed, like, no, I want to do it. But I don't know if I've rediscovered anything through the kids necessarily.
I'm trying to think myself, and I don't.
Movies, I think movies would be it. Just the different, like Logan went through a massive princess phase, so I could go that through her, but not now. I don't think so.
I don't think rediscover for me Marvel. Like, I was always into comics, and I enjoyed like Iron Man when it came out and stuff like that. But it was so nice that Catherine, my daughter, took to Marvel so like she did that I had someone to talk to.
That's awesome.
Like over the dinner table, we'd be discussing like the latest Marvel movies and Star Trek. Because like I'm a huge Star Trek fan, as you know, named all my kids after Star Trek characters. But sitting down with Catherine, and she has my mind, which is crazy, and I feel kind of sad for her. But encyclopedic knowledge of Marvel and Star Trek that we could have conversations about them, like minute details of everything, and that was so nice. That's
awesome.
Cathartic. It was like, oh man, I needed this. But with that same breath, she's also the outlier in her friends group. Like, she doesn't have any friends to like discuss this. They like look at her like a monkey doing a math problem. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Kind of thing. It's like, oh, sorry, hon. You got my love of Star Trek, Marvel, and my hair. I'm sorry, but
well, she hits college. She'll find her people.
YouTube, like, I did have long curly hair in my youth. She has that, not the receding hairline, so don't worry about that. But yeah, that was so nice. Oh my god. I never lost that aspect. Like I still to this day I have all the Star Trek novels ever written. I still read them. I still am into all that stuff. But I have a kindred spirit now
That's
in
so
my
cool.
own house. And that was almost like a rediscovery, though. It was like I'm looking at everything for the first time through her eyes, and that was so nice.
Mm-hmm. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the last one I had down there was just doing something that you like and you have the money for. Of course, going back to, I can understand why this might be a story if it was, people were spending a bunch of money on toys and now they're finding that they don't have enough money for groceries or for the rent or something like that. But literally anything falls into that category. Like you could spend too much money on, going to watch, going to concerts or collecting something, just going out to eat, whatever. There's a thousand different things that could fall under. So that's just kind of, whatever. So, my final opinion on it is just, once again, like I said, I kind of talked about at the beginning, I have a hard time calling some of this stuff news. The particular programs or whatever. This is just, you've got like 4 hours to fill every morning, 5 days a week, 6, I think, if you include Saturday morning. They've got to talk about something. And it's like, what can we make people think or worry about now? I heard someone bought a Lego set the other day that's an adult. Is that a weird thing? Sure, let's call that a weird thing. And let's make a story out of it. And I'm just like, whatever. So, yeah, kind of ridiculous.
Pickings. Millennials are easy pickings right now to make fun of.
Oh, yeah.
So I've got a friend of ours that I've known her for a long time. It's crazy. She's substantially younger than I am, but I am so jealous of her because she's constantly posting Facebook pictures of Lego sets that she's just bought and put together. Nice. She has way more Lego sets than I've ever had in my entire life, and she's totally addicted and probably needs an intervention, but I'm sure as hell not going to give it to her because the pictures, I'm like hoping she puts them onto like Facebook Marketplace or something like that. Like realizes, I spent way too much money on this. I want to start a family. I'm going to need the money, and God, I'll sell them cheap because that's what I'm hoping for every day.
Gotcha.
But I'm so jealous of that. Where was I going with this? Oh my God. Anyway, I just wanted to point her out because I hate her. No.
She listens to this.
Yeah, I doubt it. Anyway, for myself though, for like now that I have disposable income and all that, I consider my man cave something I'm still building it. It's years in the process, even like changing houses. I'm like had to start fresh kind of thing. But yeah, it's basically a fort for adults that I'm building. I always loved building forts when I was a kid. Now I can build a bit more expensive fort to hold all my snacks and juices that are a little more adult kind of thing.
You put a mini fridge in there with tiny hot dogs.
Exactly. Jen gets it.
Exactly.
Yeah, and ketchup.
Bunch of Dijon
mustard.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Does anyone have anything else they want to add to the conversation before we move on to our picks and pans?
Okay, I'm gonna be kind of a Debbie Downer here and just say, like, part of the reason I think you're talking about why we do this, why we're so obsessed with buying all these things, because capitalism and like marketing techniques that are shoved down our throats that you have to buy all the things to be a real fan, and there's like just an overwhelming amount of options sometimes, like the number of pops and the number of things that they throw at you, and you just feel like, oh my God, if I'm a real fan, I don't know, it's kind of gross. I can
definitely kind of see that. I think it also depends on if you have a completionist bone, I guess to say, if nothing else. And unfortunately, it's right here connected to the root of my brain because, okay, so for example, I talked about how I have all these plasma characters at my office. I had no interest in starting down that road. I was like, oh, those are cool, but I don't need them. It's fine. And then for my birthday, the boys bought me the afterlife version of the 3 original guys. And I was just like, well, they've got parts that go together to make a terror dog. I'm like, I guess I should go ahead and at least get the 3 kids. So I got the 3 kids and I was like, well, no, I think I'm fine. I think I'm okay. And then the guy who hosts the podcast that I listen to put up on Instagram, I have to make some room. I have the original 6 characters from the season 1. I'm selling them cheap, and I'm just like, well, fuck. All right, I'll take them. So I bought them from him. And then I was like, well, now that I've got, and then they came out with Phoebe and Egon, and I was like, all right, I'm cool. What else is there? And I'm just like, well, there's the Ecto. Maybe I should get the Ecto. I'll get the Ecto. I got the Ecto.
Once you start.
And then I was literally looking for one last one. It was a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. But in the process, I found out that they re-released the 3 original guys, but with glow-in-the-dark parts on it. I got those too. And sitting over here in the corner,
he doesn't have a problem.
I finally purchased the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Tully's Terrible Night. And it was for a decent price. It was okay. But now I'm just like, what am I doing? But I'm like, you know what? I walk around my office at work and I look down and see them and I go, that brings me joy. That makes me happy. So fuck it. Whatever. I don't care. Like, I'm okay. My family's okay. I haven't put us in the poorhouse or anything. We can pay rent and everything else and whatever. Like, Christy wants to go watch, live football game. Cool. I'm going to buy toys and collect stuff and make myself happy. So, yeah. Anyway. But yeah, I definitely see, because what you were talking about, I can definitely see people who, just kind of have that completist mentality. And there's some people who just flat out are just like, no, I'm going to buy this one thing and that's it. I don't need all of it or whatever.
It's just the consumerism that
there's a lot of it.
Our society is kind of like.
But yeah, we do kind of
take advantage of this.
Oh hell, Nintendo is the absolute king of everything. I mean, gotta catch them all. Cabbage Patch Kids, you gotta have one. Everyone has to have a Cabbage Patch Kid, but you only have to have one. They never beat into your head that you needed more than one kid.
But you had to have it. My mom, because of where we lived up in Northern Ontario, had to get on a little 8-seater plane to go to the nearest city to go buy a fucking Cabbage Patch doll for me when I was like 5.
But I mean, like, and there were some other things that were like, well, yeah, I want to collect all of, the characters or whatever. But yeah, Pokemon, it was like the greatest marketing campaign ever. Gotta catch them all. You've got 25 of them. There's still another 125. Was it 150 when they first released? I think. Anyway, gotta catch the rest of them. And I was just like, y'all are geniuses. So.
Hey, Chris, you know what would have been cheaper than a Cabbage Patch doll that you had to go through all that for? Books. Something you actually wanted.
That wasn't valuable.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and move on to our picks and pans. I'm going to go first because I've got 2 picks. One of them literally showed up today because it completely goes with our topic.
Choice.
Last year, Hasbro, they've started this thing. They started this thing several years ago to produce toys that they didn't think would be necessarily great in the mass market or it would be a limited success. And they've had okay success with this. One of the first ones that they ever did was I can't remember for what scale it is, but it's Jabba's barge from Return of the Jedi, and it's like 4 feet long, and it was, I don't know, $400 or $500, but they sold enough of them that they actually produced this thing and got it out there. Another one that did really, really well from Star Wars is the Mandalorian ship, the Razor Crest. Adam Savage has a video of him opening one up. He bought one. He opens it up, and he just melted down. He was so excited about it. That man is one of the best salesmen ever, and he's not even trying to be. It's just the joy that comes from him, messing with this stuff because he's such a big geek. But anyway, they've done things that have worked great. They've done things that have not sold well and did not make. The one that they threw up for the Ghostbusters was a proton pack. Now they have done a wand. They did a wand several years ago that was fantastic. Well, they decided they were going to do the proton pack from Afterlife. They're like, it's going to be $400. You're not going to get it for a year, and we have to sell so many of them. Well, they reached that number, and then they kept going, and then they kept going, and then they kept going. And I think they've sold, I think the final number was over 10,000, somewhere around like that. Like the original goal was like 7,000. So they made it way past that. And I talked to Christy. She's like, yeah, you can get it. So I ordered it, and it came in today. And it is worth every penny. It makes me so happy. It's sitting over here behind Jen. Unfortunately, I really hope they will go back and make more of these and start selling them, because one of the members of my group, Bev, probably sold, I can't tell you how many of the wands to just rando people. She's like, hey, you got to come check this out. Hasbro makes these and sells them or whatever. And we're talking about people who are fans of Ghostbusters, but by all means would never, dress up and do everything else. But they're just like, man, this is a cool toy. And I really hope they would go back and do this. I mean, granted, at $400, the average person's not just going to go grab one. But if you're a super fan, or if you're, do the cosplay thing like I do, it's literally, there's a few things I want to do. Adam Savage has already done a video of some things he's done to it to spruce it up a little bit. But they have done such a fantastic job on this thing. If I ever meet someone off of that team that designed this thing, I'm gonna have to be like, if you drink a beer, I will buy you a beer. Like you knocked this thing out of the park. My hope was, once everyone got it in hand and was impressed by it and everything, that they go, hey, so we're going to do another one, and maybe do either the peak meter that with the shocking point on it, or maybe an RTV would be way too expensive. But I want them to do something else. And I'm just like, yes, you have my money. Like, no questions asked. This is fantastic. But they've done Transformer things. They've done G.I. Joe things. What's funny is the last several Star Wars ones they've done have not made. Now, granted, they were asking way too much money for what it was. But yeah, I'm hoping they keep doing stuff like this, because it was so awesome. So that's my first pick. And like I said, that just came in today. My second pick is, I finally finished it. The last 2 episodes last night, but I finished Wednesday on Netflix. We talked about it on Creatively Geeky some. Especially, I will say that last episode got a little CW for me, but I still enjoyed it. Like, it is a very teen kind of drama type show, but I can't tell you how many people, myself included, who that's not normally the type of shows they watch, and absolutely loved it. I just loved it, and I don't know if I would have loved it as much if it wasn't these characters. Like, it was specifically the Addams family, that they were referencing. But what's her name? The young lady who plays Wednesday is fantastic.
Ortega.
Yes, she is fantastic.
She's also in real life too, so I think that helps.
She's what?
She's really weird in real life too.
That's perfect.
Yeah, she's a child actor, right? She's been doing this since she was like 8 or 9, maybe. Yeah, It's a long time.
But yeah, if you like the Addams family, there's some interesting ways they go with some of the characters. Most of it I thought was fine. Actually, the person I had the most issue with was Pugsley. I think maybe he wouldn't be quite as wimpy, I guess would be to say, or whatever. But because we had a more in-depth conversation, because the whole time I'm watching, I kept thinking, I was like, what does Chris think? What does Chris think? Because Addams Family is something she's gone back to multiple times. When we do a draft or some kind of, what would you bring back, or reboot or something like that. That's kind of one of the wells she goes to. And I was just thinking, I was like, oh, man, I hope she's enjoying this. And you did enjoy it, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah. I can't wait to see a second season and where they go. So, yeah, I don't want to give anything else away about it. But yeah, if you've been on the fence about watching Wednesday on Netflix, give it a shot. It's a hell of a lot of fun. It was a fun show to watch. So, Ray, you want to go next?
Sure. Couple picks. So my pick is Willow. We finished Willow.
We finished it recently. Yesterday.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed that one. It was nostalgia and yeah, it was a lot of fun. So, and it was a decent ending, and I liked where they are hinting at. And then a pick and a pan kind of combined here. Pan that it happened, pick that he's still alive. Jeremy Renner.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Glad he's still around, man, because it's scary what's kind of been reported to happen to him. So glad he's pulling through. So yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
He got run over by
Snowplow.
His own snowplow or something.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Crazy he's still here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's lucky.
Nuts.
It looks like he's going to lose his leg.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
By
Yeah.
the sounds of it.
Shit.
But he's alive.
Yes.
So
Yeah, at least he's alive. Yeah.
He's alive.
Chris, you want to go next?
Sure. I have a couple picks. So it's Logan's birthday tomorrow.
Woohoo!
He's gonna be 17, which is bizarre. So we're all hanging out tomorrow. We're gonna go shopping because she's been saving her pennies and has decided that she's gonna put a serious dent in her checking account.
she's gonna buy me something.
Nice.
And then my second one is we were talking on Critically Geeky about things that we were working on, and I was working on this blanket, and I finished it. And I'm calling it my Wednesday blanket because it's the type of yarn that I used. It's all shades of black and gray, and it's one of the first things I've done where it's my own design, and I really like it, and I like the way it turned out. So I finished it yesterday.
Yeah.
I finished it yesterday.
And then you watched it.
And then I watched it. But yeah, I thought that was pretty happy.
Awesome.
With it. Yeah, well, that's it.
Sean, you got a pick or pan?
My daughter just turned 16, so that was
Woohoo!
really fun, but made me feel so old. But it was fun seeing her and all her friends at that age, so that was really cool. And then I just turned 44 a couple days ago. I can't remember what day it is today, but yeah, that was recent. Yeah. And Bad Batch. I just finished watching the first 3 episodes of season 2 that they released.
Oh shoot, I forgot that they released it.
Beat you. Anyway, it's really good, and it's been so long since I've seen any Star Wars cartoons because Bad Batch was like the last thing they released, season 1.
So you didn't watch Tales of the Jedi?
Tales of the Jedi. I did not watch that.
Oh my god. Watch it, it's good.
I will. But
okay.
Yeah, I've been doing the Bad Batch season 2. There are only like 3 episodes. So, but I watched them all today and it was like, oh, this is really good. I missed this. So yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm just gonna say picks for today.
Good deal.
Oh, and Jen's back.
Yay!
I haven't seen Jen in so long, so yeah.
Yeah, pans are the bad ones, right?
Yes.
So I would say 2022 was my pan. Anyone who got my Christmas card knows it was a bad year. But most recently, I guess the end of the year ended with my dad being in the hospital for over a month. He's still there. So that's the pan, I guess. And there were a lot of complications with the surgery. But the pick is, I guess, that he is slowly improving and he may be coming home this week from the rehab facility. He walked today for the first time without a walker.
Oh, good.
With somebody behind him, but so it's progress. So maybe our lives can kind of get back to some kind of normal. And I guess another good thing, so I don't end on a super depressing note, both of us started watching The Boys last night, which I know you guys have been have been recommending for years, and I've been wanting to watch it, but we got through 3.5 episodes, so it's pretty good.
Yeah,
it's twisted. It's good.
Oh yeah.
Especially season 2.
3 episodes in, I'm just like, oh my god, these people
are
terrible.
Yeah.
Season 2 opener. Oh my god.
You will. It's not. The term hate watching, where you watch something because you hate it.
Mm-hmm.
It is a hate watch in that you just you're going to be like, oh my God, I cannot wait for this guy to get his. Like, this will be, and it better be good. It better not just be someone just like squashes him.
I've already
and that's
got
it.
a guy like I'm eyeing right now. I'm sure
Like,
the same one that everybody hates
yes,
in the beginning, but
it's like, yeah,
the
when
big
he
guy.
gets, yeah, when he gets his eventually, it's gonna be so good.
It's
gonna
like
be
Game of Thrones where you're just like, oh, I can't wait for that guy to get.
Exactly. When what's his face, the little king got it, it was just like, yes.
It's a huge Star Trek connection there. Like you got Bones in there, and then you got Ensign Boimler from Lower Decks in there.
I
oh my
still
God!
haven't watched Lower Decks. I still need to watch.
Oh, you dumbass! Come on, man.
The main guy is Dennis Quaid's son. I realized I was looking at the cast.
Yeah.
Like, oh, look at that.
Jack Quaid.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
So
Ensign
yeah.
Boimler.
My Meg Ryan.
I wonder how he. Anyone who does a character that everyone just universally hates so much, how do you just go through the rest of your life? Because there's most people are like, God, I hate your character. You were so good at it.
Yeah.
It's awesome meeting you.
mean,
And there are people who are just like, you're a piece of shit. And you're like,
the guy
I'm
who
an
played
actor.
Jar Jar Binks. Look at it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And Joffrey, yeah.
But,
yeah.
Well, that is our show for the month, ladies and gentlemen. If you would, please give us a 5-star rating on iTunes, Google, Stitcher, wherever you listen to the show. You can find us at epicallygeeky.com, where you can find the rest of the shows that we do, including the Creatively Geeky, Sustainably Geeky, and Marginally Geeky shows. You can find us on social media, kinda, at Epically Geeky as well. Where can we find you online, Ray?
The Reluctant Yeti on Instagram. And Sean, I noticed over the holidays you didn't fuck around too badly with Wikipedia, so.
And that you found. You're slipping, buddy.
Chris, where can we find you online?
All the shows that you mentioned, and on Instagram at Moody Midlife.
Sean, where can we find you online?
Your favorite broke a toy on Instagram, spelled the Canadian way. And yeah, do not use Wikipedia as citing for your university theses, because I fucked with them.
You're that
guy. I isn't 4, by the way.
Jen, where can we find you online?
Instagram and Twitter at Head's Gonna Be Me, and on Sustainably Geeky, which is still happening monthly on all the sites.
And as always, you can find my individual wacky adventure online at Optimus Gene on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. For everyone on the site, have a good night.